Texas, 1938. Dr. Roland Byrd from the American Museum of Natural History was investigating reports of unusual tracks exposed during drought conditions that had lowered water levels dramatically. Local residents had discovered what appeared to be giant human footprints preserved alongside dinosaur tracks in the same limestone formations. Byrd's mission was straightforward: debunk what museum officials assumed were either elaborate hoaxes or misidentified geological features. What he found instead defied every principle of evolutionary biology and geological science. The human footprints showed anatomically correct structure with proper heel-to-toe proportions, natural stride patterns that indicated normal walking mechanics, and most importantly, they were embedded in identical rock layers as authentic dinosaur tracks. The preservation quality was extraordinary. The limestone showed uniform composition with no evidence of artificial alteration or recent disturbance. The human prints demonstrated weight-bearing compression patterns consistent with bipedal locomotion, complete with arch definition and individual toe impressions that matched human anatomy perfectly. Several tracks showed evidence of deliberate interaction with dinosaur prints, including cases where human steps appeared to carefully navigate around larger reptilian impressions. Byrd documented over 100 distinct human footprints ranging from 12 to 21 inches in length, suggesting individuals of remarkable height walking alongside massive theropod dinosaurs. The mathematical analysis of stride length indicated normal human walking patterns scaled proportionally to the extraordinary foot size. Most compelling were several prints that showed running gaits and directional changes, indicating conscious movement patterns rather than random impressions. When Byrd attempted to remove sections containing both human and dinosaur tracks for museum display, pressure from evolutionary scientists forced the American Museum to reject the evidence despite Byrd's impeccable reputation and thorough documentation. The museum's official position became that human prints in Cretaceous deposits were impossible regardless of physical evidence. Independent paleontologists who examined the site confirmed Byrd's findings but faced professional ostracism when they supported the authenticity of human tracks in geological layers supposedly laid down 100 million years ago. Dr. Cecil Dougherty of UC Berkeley lost his tenure after publishing research supporting the Paluxy discoveries, sending a clear message to other scientists about the consequences of challenging established evolutionary timelines. The systematic suppression intensified when geologists verified that the limestone formations showed no evidence of recent disturbance, secondary deposition, or artificial creation. The human and dinosaur tracks had been preserved simultaneously in the same geological event during the Cretaceous period, creating an impossible scenario according to accepted scientific chronology. Local protection of the site became impossible when repeated vandalism destroyed many of the clearest human prints. However, plaster casts made by Byrd and other researchers preserved evidence of the impossible coexistence, though these casts mysteriously disappeared from museum collections over the following decades. Modern attempts to investigate the Paluxy River tracks are discouraged through academic pressure and funding restrictions that prevent serious scientific analysis. The implications of Byrd's discovery extend far beyond paleontology. If humans and dinosaurs coexisted, the entire framework of evolutionary theory requires fundamental revision. The geological timeline that places dinosaur extinction 65 million years before human evolution becomes meaningless, and the gradual development of life on Earth transforms from scientific fact to questionable theory. Our second expedition takes us beneath the Mediterranean Sea, where between 1955 and 1968, Columbia University's marine geology program conducted extensive sonar mapping that revealed submerged architectural structures covering thousands of square miles. Dr. Bruce Heason led this expedition using revolutionary sonar technology to map underwater topography for geological research, expecting to find natural formations and evidence of ancient coastlines. Instead, his team discovered unmistakable signs of deliberate construction spanning vast underwater areas. The sonar readings revealed straight lines extending for miles, perfect geometric angles, and organized layouts that natural geological processes simply cannot produce. These weren't random rock formations or coral growth patterns, but systematic urban development preserved beneath hundreds of feet of seawater. The structures existed at depths proving they were built when sea levels were 400 feet lower during the last ice age, approximately 12,000 years ago. This timeline places advanced urban civilizations in the Mediterranean during periods when mainstream archaeology insists humans were primitive hunter-gatherers, incapable of complex construction or urban planning. Detailed sonar analysis revealed features that could only be described as harbors with artificial breakwaters, building foundations arranged in organized city blocks, road networks connecting different urban centers, and defensive walls that followed strategic topographical advantages. The scale and sophistication suggested civilizations that had achieved urban development rivaling ancient Rome, but thousands of years earlier. High-resolution mapping identified individual structures within the submerged cities, including what appeared to be temples, palaces, and residential complexes. The architectural layouts demonstrated advanced understanding of urban planning, drainage systems, and defensive architecture that exceeded capabilities attributed to Ice Age populations by conventional archaeological theory. Statistical analysis of the structural patterns revealed mathematical relationships and geometric principles in the city layouts that indicated sophisticated planning and engineering knowledge. The urban designs incorporated astronomical alignments and mathematical ratios found in much later civilizations, suggesting advanced scientific understanding that predated known mathematical development by millennia. When Heesen's team attempted to publish their findings, pressure from archaeological institutions forced Columbia University to suppress the research. Archaeologists insisted that complex civilizations couldn't have existed before 5000 BCE, regardless of physical evidence found on the Mediterranean sea floor. The National Science Foundation terminated support for further investigation and classified the sonar data containing evidence of underwater structures. The systematic cover-up extended beyond academic suppression. Access to research materials was restricted to authorized personnel only, preventing independent verification of the discoveries. Subsequent oceanographic surveys in the Mediterranean have been carefully routed to avoid the areas where Heesen's team discovered underwater structures, and official charts show these regions as natural geological formations, despite clear sonar evidence of artificial construction. Independent marine archaeologists who attempted to investigate the Mediterranean structures found their research proposals systematically rejected and their access to necessary equipment blocked through bureaucratic obstacles. Universities refused to support expeditions that might confirm pre-agricultural civilizations, challenging established archaeological timelines about human development and technological capability. The Mediterranean discoveries proved that advanced urban civilizations existed during the last ice age, when official history claims humans were struggling to survive in small nomadic groups. The evidence suggests sophisticated societies with complex social organization, advanced engineering capabilities, and urban planning skills that wouldn't be seen again for thousands of years. Yet this revolutionary evidence has been systematically suppressed to maintain established archaeological narratives about primitive prehistoric human development. These first two expeditions establish a disturbing pattern that repeats throughout our investigation. When legitimate scientific research produces evidence contradicting fundamental academic theories, institutional mechanisms activate to suppress the findings, regardless of their validity or the credentials of the researchers involved. The systematic nature of this suppression suggests coordinated efforts to maintain historical narratives that serve academic and institutional interests rather than scientific truth. The implications extend far beyond individual discoveries. If human civilization is thousands of years older and more sophisticated than accepted timelines allow, our understanding of technological development, cultural evolution, and human capability requires complete revision. The evidence suggests that advanced knowledge and sophisticated societies have existed far longer than mainstream science acknowledges, hidden beneath layers of institutional denial and academic orthodoxy. Our third expedition leads us to the frozen wilderness of Antarctica, where in 1980, the International Antarctic Research Expedition's deep ice core drilling program uncovered evidence that shattered our understanding of Earth's climate history. Dr. Elena Petrov led the Soviet component of this multinational research effort, focusing on climate reconstruction through analysis of ice layers representing hundreds of thousands of years of Antarctic accumulation. The team was extracting cores from extraordinary depths using state-of-the-art drilling equipment provided by international climate research organizations. At levels corresponding to approximately 400,000 years ago, Petrov's team discovered something that shouldn't have been possible according to established climate models. Perfectly preserved tropical plant material was embedded in ice that should have formed during a major glacial period, when global temperatures were supposedly much colder than today. The organic material included palm fronds, fern specimens, and flowering plants that required warm, humid conditions to survive. These weren't contaminated samples from other regions or modern material that had somehow infiltrated ancient ice. The plant fossils were so well preserved that cellular structures remained intact, allowing detailed botanical analysis that confirmed the specimens were genuine tropical flora embedded in ice layers dating back nearly 500,000 years. Carbon dating verified that the fossil's age matched the ice layer chronology established through multiple independent dating methods. Pollen analysis revealed that these tropical plants were part of complete ecosystems that had flourished in Antarctica, including evidence of tropical insects, soil microorganisms, and marine life that required warm ocean temperatures to survive. The biological evidence painted a picture of Antarctica sustaining temperate climates for extended periods, when conventional wisdom insisted the continent was locked in permanent ice. The implications were staggering. If tropical plants were growing in Antarctica 400,000 years ago, global climate patterns operated according to principles completely unknown to modern climatology. The discovery suggested that ice ages, continental positions, or atmospheric conditions functioned through mechanisms that could dramatically alter polar climates in ways that current models couldn't explain or predict. Geological analysis of sediment layers within the ice cores revealed additional anomalies. Evidence of volcanic activity, sea level changes, and continental drift differed significantly from accepted models of Earth's geological history. The data suggested that major planetary changes had occurred more recently and more dramatically than previously understood, challenging fundamental assumptions about geological stability and climate evolution. When Petrov prepared to publish her findings, pressure from international climate organizations forced the Soviet Academy of Sciences to classify the research immediately. The plant fossils were transferred to restricted facilities and removed from scientific access, preventing independent verification of the impossible climatic evidence. The systematic suppression extended to NASA climate researchers who had collaborated on the Ice Core project, who were ordered to omit tropical fossil data from their reports and focus exclusively on evidence supporting established climate models. The drilling site was declared off-limits to further research due to environmental protection concerns, effectively sealing the evidence from future investigation. International treaties prohibited unauthorized investigation of the restricted area, ensuring that the tropical fossil discoveries would remain hidden from scientific scrutiny. Modern Antarctic research programs carefully avoid the regions where these fossils were discovered, maintaining artificial consistency in climate science by systematically excluding contradictory data. Our fourth expedition takes us across the Atlantic Ocean with Thor Heyerdahl's expeditions in 1969 and 1970, though the most significant discoveries from these voyages were systematically suppressed. While Heyerdahl successfully demonstrated that ancient peoples possessed transoceanic navigation capabilities using primitive vessels, his team uncovered evidence that prehistoric civilizations had established global trade networks operating on scales that exceeded modern international commerce. During the Atlantic crossing, Heyerdahl's team collected marine biological specimens that revealed species combinations impossible without systematic transoceanic transport. The barnacle samples showed genetic markers indicating that species native to different continents had been hybridizing for thousands of years, proving that ancient maritime travel had created biological connections between distant regions long before accepted historical contact between civilizations. Most significantly, the expedition documented artificial navigational markers on remote islands that showed evidence of ancient construction and maintenance. These installations demonstrated sophisticated understanding of ocean navigation and global positioning that exceeded accepted ancient capabilities by thousands of years. The markers included stone monuments aligned with stellar positions, artificial harbors carved into natural rock formations, and signal platforms positioned for optimal visibility across vast ocean distances. The navigational installations formed networks that could guide ships across oceanic expanses using mathematical principles and astronomical knowledge that official history claimed weren't developed until the modern era. Radiocarbon dating revealed these markers were thousands of years old, yet their mathematical precision required advanced navigational science that supposedly didn't exist in prehistoric times. Archaeological investigation of the islands revealed evidence of ancient settlements that had served as waypoints for transoceanic travel. The infrastructure included warehouses for trade goods, ship repair facilities, and astronomical observation platforms. The scale and organization suggested coordinated maritime commerce spanning multiple continents during periods when mainstream archaeology insists civilizations remained isolated on their respective landmasses. When Heyerdahl attempted to publish evidence of ancient global navigation systems, academic institutions dismissed his findings as overinterpretation of natural formations. Universities refused to support research that might prove prehistoric civilizations had achieved global connectivity, challenging fundamental theories about isolated development and primitive technological capabilities that formed the foundation of anthropological science. Maritime archaeology organizations prohibited investigation of the ancient navigational sites, claiming they were culturally sensitive locations, requiring protection from unauthorized research. Access was restricted through international maritime protection treaties that prevented scientific verification, while oceanographic surveys systematically avoided areas where evidence of ancient navigation systems had been discovered. Our fifth expedition ventures beneath the Sahara Desert, where between 1975 and 1982, a joint French-Algerian expedition led by Henri Lotte discovered extensive urban ruins that revolutionized our understanding of prehistoric African civilization. Lotte's team was investigating Neolithic rock art when ground-penetrating radar detected massive artificial structures buried under centuries of sand accumulation. The initial excavations revealed stone buildings with architectural sophistication that challenged every assumption about prehistoric African development. The buried cities showed evidence of advanced urban planning that included paved streets with sophisticated drainage systems, multi-story buildings constructed with precision stonework, and public spaces designed for large populations with complex social organization. Architectural analysis revealed construction techniques that incorporated earthquake-resistant engineering, climate-controlled interior environments using passive cooling systems, and modular design principles that allowed for systematic urban expansion. The level of engineering required advanced mathematical knowledge and construction experience that supposedly didn't exist in prehistoric North Africa. Astronomical analysis of building alignments revealed that the cities were oriented according to precise celestial calculations, requiring sophisticated mathematical knowledge and long-term astronomical observation. The urban layouts incorporated cosmic alignments that demonstrated advanced scientific understanding of celestial mechanics thousands of years before such knowledge was supposed to exist. Agricultural evidence showed that these Saharan civilizations had developed irrigation systems capable of supporting large populations in challenging desert conditions. The technology included underground water management systems, soil enhancement techniques, and crop rotation methods that exceeded contemporary agricultural capabilities and demonstrated sustainable environmental management practices. Radiocarbon testing dated the urban complexes to 8000 BCE, placing sophisticated African civilizations thousands of years before Egyptian civilization supposedly began. The timeline suggested that advanced urban development had emerged independently in multiple African regions, challenging assumptions about technological diffusion and the primacy of Mesopotamian civilization in human development. When Lotte's team attempted to publish their findings about advanced Saharan civilizations, pressure from Egyptian archaeological authorities forced suppression of research that might challenge the primacy of Egyptian civilization in African development. The French colonial government classified the discoveries and restricted access to prevent international investigation that might prove advanced African civilizations predated European contact by thousands of years. The discovery sites were subsequently declared protected areas, with access restricted through environmental and cultural preservation laws that prevented unauthorized archaeological investigation while maintaining official silence about the revolutionary discoveries. Modern satellite imagery shows geometric patterns beneath Saharan sands that correspond to Lotte's described urban sites, but ground investigation remains prohibited through international treaties. These expeditions reveal a consistent pattern of institutional suppression when scientific evidence challenges established historical narratives. The discoveries suggest that human civilization is far older, more sophisticated, and more globally connected than mainstream academia acknowledges. Advanced technologies, complex urban planning, and international trade networks appear to have existed thousands of years before conventional timelines allow, hidden beneath layers of institutional denial and academic orthodoxy that prioritizes theoretical consistency over empirical evidence. Our sixth expedition transports us to the Arctic wilderness, where in 1973, the International Arctic Research Expedition made discoveries that fundamentally challenged our understanding of human migration patterns and prehistoric capabilities. Dr. James Mitchell led this multinational team, investigating climate change evidence in Arctic permafrost, when they uncovered sophisticated tools, weapons, and artistic objects embedded in geological layers far older than accepted timelines for human arrival in North America. The artifacts displayed manufacturing techniques that defied conventional assumptions about prehistoric human capabilities. Precision flint knapping had produced standardized tool types with remarkable consistency, while composite tool construction utilized multiple materials and advanced adhesives. Most striking were decorative artworks that demonstrated cultural sophistication and artistic traditions spanning thousands of years, preserved perfectly in the frozen ground. The permafrost preservation allowed unprecedented analysis of organic materials, including wood, bone, leather, and textile fragments, that revealed sophisticated processing techniques and manufacturing capabilities. These organic artifacts showed evidence of complex tool-making traditions and advanced material processing that required specialized knowledge and skilled craftsmanship passed down through generations. Radiocarbon dating confirmed the devastating truth. These human artifacts were 45,000 years old, placing human habitation in Arctic regions during periods when Ice Age conditions should have made survival impossible with primitive technology. The discovery suggested that ancient humans possessed advanced cold weather adaptation capabilities and survival techniques that exceeded anything attributed to prehistoric populations. Analysis of bone tools revealed hunting techniques requiring sophisticated understanding of Arctic wildlife behavior, seasonal migration patterns, and coordinated group hunting strategies capable of successfully targeting large Ice Age mammals, including mammoths, cave bears, and Arctic-adapted megafauna. The hunting technology demonstrated tactical knowledge and organizational skills that challenged every assumption about primitive human capabilities. Most revolutionary were navigational instruments and boat-building materials, indicating that Arctic peoples had developed sophisticated maritime technology capable of ocean travel during Ice Age conditions. Preserved boat components showed advanced shipbuilding techniques including flexible hull construction, waterproofing methods, and sail systems that could function in brutal Arctic maritime environments. The nautical technology suggested capability for long-distance ocean travel during periods when such navigation was supposedly impossible. When Mitchell's team prepared to publish their findings about early human presence in the Arctic, pressure from anthropological institutions forced immediate suppression of research that contradicted established migration theories. The National Science Foundation terminated funding for further Arctic archaeological research and classified the artifact collections, removing them from scientific access and preventing independent verification. The systematic cover-up extended to universities refusing to support research validating pre-Clovis human presence in the Americas. Academic institutions maintained that human migration couldn't have occurred before the Bering Land Bridge provided access approximately 15,000 years ago, despite physical evidence proving much earlier human habitation with advanced technological capabilities. Our seventh expedition leads us beneath the streets of London, where during 1987, construction of the Jubilee Line extension, engineering surveys discovered extensive tunnel systems and underground structures that predated Roman London by thousands of years. Dr. Margaret Foster led the archaeological component, expecting to find typical Roman-era foundations and medieval infrastructure. Instead, her team uncovered evidence of prehistoric urban development that shattered assumptions about ancient British capabilities. The underground structures included precisely engineered tunnels with perfectly circular cross-sections that demonstrated mathematical precision exceeding modern construction standards. Sophisticated ventilation systems maintained air circulation throughout extensive networks, while architectural foundations showed advanced understanding of geology, hydrology, and structural engineering principles that supposedly didn't exist in prehistoric Britain. Engineering analysis revealed that tunnel construction required mathematical knowledge of load distribution, water management, and structural integrity that exceeded Roman engineering capabilities. The prehistoric builders had achieved construction precision matching modern tunneling standards through techniques that remained mysterious even after detailed technical analysis. Most extraordinary was discovering that prehistoric tunnel systems connected to natural underground waterways and cave formations, suggesting ancient engineers had created integrated urban infrastructure, utilizing both artificial construction and natural geological features for comprehensive city planning. This level of environmental integration required sophisticated surveying, geological knowledge, and long-term urban planning capabilities. Water management systems included sophisticated drainage networks, underground reservoirs, and flood control mechanisms capable of handling seasonal water flow variations. The hydraulic engineering demonstrated advanced understanding of urban water management and environmental adaptation that wouldn't be seen again until Roman aqueduct systems were developed centuries later. Analysis of construction materials revealed stone cutting and metalwork techniques producing precision that exceeded Roman standards. The engineering incorporated principles of load distribution and structural stability, requiring advanced mathematical and scientific knowledge that challenged every assumption about prehistoric British technological limitations. Tool marks on the stone surfaces showed evidence of cutting techniques achieving precision levels that required advanced tools and manufacturing capabilities. The stonework demonstrated sophisticated quarrying, transport, and construction methods that suggested prehistoric British civilizations possessed technological capabilities rivaling classical Mediterranean cultures. When Foster attempted to publish findings about prehistoric London infrastructure, pressure from British archaeological institutions forced suppression of research that might challenge Roman primacy in British urban development. The construction project was modified to avoid disturbing prehistoric structures, while access to discovery areas was restricted through heritage protection laws preventing independent investigation. London Transport Authority classified the underground discoveries and prohibited public discussion of prehistoric infrastructure that might complicate development projects and challenge established narratives about primitive pre-Roman British capabilities. The systematic suppression ensured that revolutionary evidence of advanced prehistoric urban engineering remained hidden from public knowledge. Our 8th expedition ventures deep into the Amazon rainforest, where the 1999 Brazilian Rainforest Survey, using advanced satellite imaging and ground-penetrating radar, revealed extensive urban complexes throughout the Amazon basin that supported populations numbering in the millions. Dr. Anna Clark led this international team using cutting-edge remote sensing technology to map deforestation and environmental change, expecting to document modern ecological damage rather than discover advanced prehistoric civilizations. The satellite data revealed geometric patterns covering thousands of square miles that could only result from deliberate human landscape modification on an unprecedented scale. These patterns included urban centers connected by sophisticated road networks, agricultural terraces carved into hillsides, and water management infrastructure that transformed challenging rainforest environments into productive urban landscapes. Advanced image analysis identified individual structures within the urban complexes, including what appeared to be temples, administrative buildings, residential areas, and specialized facilities for manufacturing and trade. The architectural layouts demonstrated sophisticated urban planning and social organization that rivaled classical civilizations in complexity and scale. Ground investigation confirmed that geometric patterns were artificial earthworks created through sophisticated engineering that required coordinated labor, advanced planning, and construction techniques adapted to rainforest conditions. The construction scale exceeded anything achieved by known prehistoric American civilizations and suggested social organization capable of mobilizing massive human resources. Archaeological evidence revealed that Amazon civilizations had developed construction techniques using locally available materials to create durable architecture capable of withstanding challenging rainforest conditions. The building methods incorporated environmental adaptation and sustainable construction practices that worked with, rather than against, natural ecosystems. Most significantly, these civilizations had developed sustainable environmental management that maintained ecological balance while supporting enormous populations. Their agricultural techniques enhanced rather than damaged rainforest ecosystems through soil improvement, biodiversity management, and integrated forest farming that created more productive environments than natural forest systems. Agricultural analysis showed sophisticated farming systems, including raised field agriculture, forest gardening, and aquaculture, that could support dense populations while maintaining environmental sustainability. These techniques exceeded modern sustainable agriculture capabilities and demonstrated ecological understanding that modern environmental science is only beginning to appreciate. Population estimates based on urban area analysis and agricultural capacity suggested that Amazon civilizations had supported populations numbering in the millions, making them among the largest prehistoric civilizations in the Americas, with sophisticated social organization and resource management systems that sustained complex societies for thousands of years. When Clark's team prepared to publish findings about Amazon urban civilizations, pressure from environmental organizations forced suppression of research that might complicate conservation efforts by proving that large human populations could coexist sustainably with rainforest ecosystems. The Brazilian government classified satellite data and restricted access to prevent investigation, challenging environmental policies based on assumptions about pristine wilderness. Our 9th expedition takes us to the North Sea, where offshore drilling operations during the 1980s repeatedly encountered artificial structures, worked stone, and human artifacts at depths corresponding to periods when the area was dry land during the last ice age. Dr. Robert Hansen analyzed core samples from oil drilling platforms that consistently contained evidence of substantial human habitation in areas underwater for thousands of years. The submerged evidence showed sophisticated construction techniques, including stone foundations with precisely fitted blocks, artificial harbours with breakwater construction, and defensive structures demonstrating advanced engineering capabilities, and organised social systems for large-scale construction projects spanning vast underwater areas. Engineering analysis revealed construction methods requiring advanced understanding of hydraulic engineering, stone cutting, and structural design that exceeded capabilities attributed to Ice Age European populations by mainstream archaeology. The building techniques suggested organised civilizations with substantial populations and technological capabilities for major public works projects. Radiocarbon dating of organic materials found in North Sea cores revealed human activity dating to 12 to 15,000 years ago, when the region was habitable land before post-glacial flooding submerged extensive evidence of advanced civilization. The timeline placed sophisticated societies in Northern Europe thousands of years before accepted agricultural development. Most significantly, North Sea artifacts included evidence of metallurgy, precision toolmaking, and artistic development indicating cultural sophistication, exceeding capabilities attributed to Ice Age European populations by archaeological theory. Metal artifacts revealed advanced alloy production, precision casting techniques, and decorative metalwork requiring sophisticated furnace technology and chemical knowledge. When Hansen attempted to publish findings about North Sea prehistoric civilizations, archaeological institutions forced suppression of research, challenging established timelines of European development. Oil companies were pressured to avoid reporting discoveries that might complicate drilling operations through heritage protection requirements and expensive archaeological investigation protocols. Our 10th and final expedition leads us to Australia, where between 1985 and 1990, thermoluminescence dating of archaeological sites by Dr. Rhys-Jones consistently produced dates of 60 to 80,000 years for Aboriginal artifacts and settlements. These results proved that sophisticated human cultures had existed in Australia far longer than accepted migration theories allowed, and that Aboriginal technological and cultural development was much more advanced than mainstream anthropology acknowledged. Jones was using advanced dating techniques to establish chronologies for Aboriginal cultural development when his team discovered that conventional radiocarbon dating had severely underestimated the age of Australian human habitation by tens of thousands of years. The thermoluminescence results showed that Aboriginal peoples had developed sophisticated technologies and cultural systems far earlier than accepted timelines for advanced human development. Archaeological evidence revealed that early Aboriginal cultures had achieved advanced stone tool production, complex artistic expression, and sophisticated environmental management, enabling successful adaptation to diverse Australian environments from tropical rainforests to arid deserts. The technological sophistication exceeded capabilities attributed to prehistoric populations worldwide. The extended timeline meant that Aboriginal peoples had developed advanced cultural systems independently and earlier than civilizations on other continents, challenging assumptions about technological diffusion and primitive Australian development that formed the basis of comparative anthropological theory throughout academic institutions. Cultural analysis showed that Aboriginal civilizations had achieved complex social organization, long-distance trade networks, and technological innovations requiring advanced mathematical understanding and scientific observation capabilities spanning thousands of years. The sophistication suggested cultural development rivaling classical civilizations, but occurring much earlier in human history. When Jones attempted to publish extended chronology for Aboriginal civilization, anthropological institutions forced suppression of research challenging established theories about human migration and primitive prehistoric capabilities fundamental to accepted models. The Australian government restricted archaeological site access and prohibited research that might establish extended chronologies, complicating land rights and cultural heritage policies. The pattern established by these 10 expeditions reveals systematic suppression of revolutionary discoveries that challenge fundamental assumptions about human history, technological development, and prehistoric capabilities. Each expedition uncovered evidence suggesting that advanced civilizations existed thousands of years earlier than accepted timelines allow, that prehistoric humans possessed sophisticated technologies and organizational capabilities, and that global connectivity existed long before mainstream science acknowledges transoceanic contact between civilizations. The systematic suppression across these 10 expeditions reveals something far more sinister than academic conservatism or scientific caution. This is coordinated institutional control designed to maintain narratives that serve established power structures rather than pursue scientific truth. The evidence points to deliberate concealment of discoveries that could revolutionize our understanding of human potential and reveal that our ancestors achieved extraordinary developments, challenging every assumption about civilization's linear progression. What unites these suppressed discoveries isn't scientific impossibility, but their threat to foundational academic theories that generate billions in research funding, support entire university departments, and justify the authority of scientific institutions worldwide. Free inquiry becomes secondary to protecting theoretical frameworks that maintain institutional power and academic careers built on outdated models of human development. The pattern emerges clearly across disciplines. Paleontology suppresses evidence of human-dinosaur coexistence because it threatens evolutionary timelines. Archaeology buries proof of advanced prehistoric civilizations because it challenges primitive development theories. Climatology hides tropical fossils in Antarctica because they contradict established climate models. Anthropology conceals extended human chronologies because they undermine migration theories fundamental to current academic orthodoxy. Each suppression follows identical protocols. Initial discovery by credentialed researchers using legitimate methodologies produces revolutionary evidence. Institutional pressure immediately emerges to classify, restrict, or destroy the findings. Academic careers are threatened, funding is terminated, and research access is blocked through bureaucratic obstacles. The evidence disappears into classified archives, while official narratives remain unchanged, protected from contradictory data that might force theoretical revision. The implications extend far beyond individual discoveries. These expeditions prove that advanced knowledge, sophisticated construction techniques, and complex social organization existed thousands of years ago before mainstream science acknowledges human capability for such achievements. The evidence suggests that technological development, cultural evolution, and human potential operate according to principles completely unknown to modern academia. Consider the mathematical precision of prehistoric tunnel systems beneath London, the astronomical alignments of buried Saharan cities, the sophisticated metallurgy found in Arctic permafrost, and the sustainable environmental management of Amazon civilizations. These discoveries reveal technological capabilities and scientific understanding that supposedly wouldn't emerge for thousands of years, hidden beneath institutional denial that prioritizes theoretical consistency over empirical evidence. The systematic nature of this suppression suggests coordination between institutions, government agencies, and international organizations committed to maintaining historical narratives regardless of contradictory evidence. When legitimate research threatens established theories, mechanisms activate to silence researchers, classify discoveries, and prevent independent verification through legal restrictions, funding manipulation, and career destruction. Modern science operates more like religious doctrine than open inquiry, suppressing heretical evidence that threatens established beliefs about human history and prehistoric capabilities. The institutional resistance to paradigm-shifting discoveries reveals that academic orthodoxy functions to protect theoretical authority rather than advance human knowledge through honest investigation of revolutionary evidence. The consequences extend beyond academic politics. Suppressed discoveries suggest that human civilization possesses far greater antiquity, sophistication, and global connectivity than we've been taught. Advanced technologies existed millions of years before their supposed invention. Complex urban planning, sustainable agriculture, and international trade networks operated when official history claims humans were primitive nomads struggling for survival in isolated groups. These hidden discoveries prove that human potential has been systematically underestimated by academic institutions committed to linear development models that serve institutional interests rather than scientific truth. The evidence points to cyclical civilization patterns where advanced societies achieved remarkable developments, then disappeared from historical records through systematic suppression of archaeological evidence. The technological capabilities revealed by these expeditions suggest that prehistoric humans possess scientific knowledge rivaling modern understanding in fields ranging from engineering and metallurgy to astronomy and environmental management. Yet this evidence remains buried in classified archives, hidden from public knowledge that might inspire recognition of human potential exceeding current limitations imposed by institutional orthodoxy. The global scope of suppression indicates international coordination between academic institutions, government agencies, and research organizations committed to maintaining theoretical frameworks that justify their authority and funding. Revolutionary discoveries that might democratize advanced knowledge or reveal human capabilities exceeding institutional control face systematic elimination through classification, destruction, and career assassination. These 10 expeditions represent more than suppressed discoveries. They're evidence of deliberate concealment, designed to maintain academic control over human understanding of our true capabilities and ancient heritage. The consistent pattern across decades reveals coordinated suppression protecting institutional power rather than advancing scientific knowledge. What emerges is undeniable proof that human civilization is thousands of years older and infinitely more sophisticated than we've been allowed to believe.